So welcome everybody. Today we're going to be doing the Dunning Wizard tutorial with Mike Taylor, William B1UP, and I think you're going to be showing us the Dunning Wizard with SAP as well, Mike?
Yep, it'll be the Dunning Wizard on the SAP side, plus how it works with B1UP, print and delivery.
All right.
Ready?
You ready?
Okay, this time I won't leave my screen paused. Go to the next one. So can you see that agenda?
Yep, we see everything.
Okay, all right, perfect. Last time I did part of my webinar just frozen.
Stayed on the first page.
Yeah. Okay, so today's agenda, we're going to cover the SAP Business One Dunning Wizard. I'll show you the PDF guide, talk a little bit about what it is, how it integrates with print and delivery and what features it adds. I'll do a quick tutorial kind of overview, and then we'll go into questions. So let's start out with, what is dunning? I looked up the word because I was pretty sure this was the case, but the word to dun, to make persistent demands on someone, especially for payment of a debt. They would very likely start dunning you for payment of your taxes. So I figured it was like an old Englishy word. So it's from the 17th century, basically the term for collections. The Dunning Wizard in SAP allows you to set up specific terms so that you can automate letters sent to customers to communicate with them in order to collect money and to maybe come to an agreement on payment of debt. I have a nice PDF that I like to use. It's a little older. I haven't found a newer one. There could be a newer one, but I think this one is still just as applicable. The basic stuff is still all the same.
I don't think anything's changed since back then, Mike, honestly.
Yeah, I think they've added a few check boxes and everything, but I like these old guides because the old guides really dig into more detail and give you more examples of things. So I've always kept this kind of around, and it kind of, does a really good job of explaining it, I think. So I'll send that to Tracy, and anybody that gets the recording can get that as well. It doesn't include anything in the B1UP stuff and all that, but
no, but it's good. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah. So B1UP print and delivery. So the Dunning Wizard isn't changed fundamentally by the print and delivery features. So everything I show you can be used with, your stock SAP Business One. But if you know me or if you've seen any of my videos or webinars, I love B1UP, B1UP print and delivery in particular. So out of the box with SAP, you can do very basic delivery of your dunning letters. With B1UP, you can customize the file name. You can do automated output of custom emails, including HTML emails. So you could say, hello, X person, please find attached X information. And it also comes with its own Dunning Wizard letter printout, which is a lot nicer, in my opinion, than the SAP ones. So it makes it just a lot easier to deliver it. It makes it a lot easier to deliver it, a lot easier to customize it, and you don't have to kind of maintain each letter separately. It's a very good system, so I'll show you that as well. Let's jump into the tutorial. So this is currently 9.3 PL14. My fancy B1UP dashboards. So the first thing you're going to want to do is decide on your dunning levels. If you have never done this before, you might have sent out account statements. The account statements actually exist separately from the dunning levels. So, obviously customers get account statements and say this is where you are. Account statements don't inherently imply that there's any sort of, debt, repayment. It can show you the aging of your accounts, but again, if your account's in good standing, people won't necessarily care. And if they're in bad standing, it might not necessarily, let them know that they're being done, that there is money that's being due, and that you're keeping track of it. So the dunning kind of takes it to the next level where you can increase the intensity of the wording of the letters And the idea behind that is the first one's kind of like a friendly reminder, and then it can go up from there. And basically you could say this is kind of a person's on a final notice, and you can say we're going to factor or send your debt to collections, if that's something that you end up doing. So you go to administration, set up business partners, and Dunning levels. Not Dunning levels, sorry, Dunning terms, my bad. Dunning terms. You don't have to do anything with the Dunning levels. So the Dunning terms here, you will set your levels, and this will be where you kind of customize this to how you want to communicate specifically for your business. So in this case, it's very simple. I only have 2 levels, and one level will be maybe a friendly reminder, and then a second level will be a more intense reminder. Again, you can have, I think you can have up to 10. You can have up to 10 levels, and I don't know anybody that's using 10 levels, but I mean, you could be like, hey, you owe us money, and then this will be like, you owe us some money and we really need it, all the way up to like, give me the money or I'm going to break your legs type of thing. So you can kind of set that how you want. You set your effective days. So it isn't necessarily correlating directly to aging, because the way you can think about this is it's a sequence of letters designed to get the attention of the customer for payment, rather than the accounting centric aging. You're like, this particular document is 60 days overdue, right? That's what the customer statement will communicate. But the Dunning letters, it's more of like, these particular invoices, they're overdue. We need to settle them now, otherwise something else will happen, right? So when you think of effective days, it goes 10 days after the due date of that invoice is now eligible for a level 1 Dunning letter, and then 30 days after the first letter. So I've seen people go 30, 60, 90, but if I did say, so this is a 40-day Dunning cycle. If I did 30 and then I did 60, this would be 30 days after it's due and then 60 days after the first letter. So again, this PDF guide will remind you of that, but so I'll reset that. So it could be 10 and 10 and 10. Could be like, again, this is as kind of as simple as you can do it. I have put a fee per letter just as an example. So, honestly, it's kind of a waste of your time to have to do the collections. So you're saying, hey, this, it's going to cost me time. It's going to cost me postage. It's going to cost me this. Again, it's really industry specific. Some industries don't accept this. Some companies don't want to do this. But, it's a fact of life that, sometimes people don't pay and different industries are different. So you can use this tool how you want. Minimum balance, if they owe you $1, maybe there's some discrepancy in currency or something. And then you can say charge interest or not at the different levels. So you could say letter 1, hey, I don't charge interest on level 1, but if you don't pay, I'm going to start charging you interest. If they didn't pay you initially and then you do the Dunning letter, are they going to pay you the interest as well? It's kind of, again, it's kind of more industry specific. I haven't thought about it too much, and I think we have a few people using it, but again, not everybody wants to charge the interest side of things. Maybe they just want to remind people about the specific invoices. A couple of other different things. You can set your annual interest rate and, how many number of years in a day, in a month, etc. You set your GL accounts for posting for the interest and the fees, so where those are going to go, because the Dunning Wizard will actually create invoices that are due. It'll create service type invoices, and I will show you that as well. Some of these other options, I'm not going to go through all of them. You can look in the guide and it'll explain more about those. Okay, so once you have that all set up, you need to set those for either all of your business partners or whichever ones you're going to set to be having the dunning done. So I just have the Battleship Cobra business partner that I use, and I've set the dunning terms to demo. So that's what I'm doing. So you can drill down in there, you can see this. So this particular business partner will follow that plan. 10-day, you're overdue. So your thing was due January 1st, 10 days, you send a letter, you're gonna send it next month in 30 days, then you'll get the second level, and it's gonna automatically post interest and the fees to those particular accounts marked in the terms. Okay, so luckily I, of course, have my some data in there to show you. Modules, sales, Dunning Wizard. You can also use DTW and all the standard tools in order to update your customers too. So Dunning Wizard, start it from the sales module. Next, I'm going to start a new Dunning Wizard. These are previous ones I've done. Dunning levels, Dunning terms, you could run specific for specific levels or specific terms if you want to break those out, change the name to something more applicable in what you want. So again, you can get quite specific on this. I'm just being pretty general here. I need to add the customers I want based on some criteria. So in this case, I'm just going to include everybody because I have a few customers here. You can uncheck them, check them, pretty simple. A couple other options in here. You can include only up to a specific date. You know, whether you're going to include credit memos not based on an invoice or including manual journal entries as well. Just simple stuff. Because I have kind of a, you know, my particular demo database has kind of some older information. You're going to see some extreme amounts of interest based on what I'm doing here, but you can see that you have the various customers, and a little trick here is view fit column width. This works for everything, all forms, all of SAP, view fit column width, so you don't have to kind of adjust every column, it'll just fit it to the data. So we can collapse all, and let's just pick Battleship Cobra. We're gonna send one letter. We have a mix of levels. So it's up to you. You see that I've done this before for this customer, so they're already on the second level, so they'll get the second level intensity letter.
Now, looking at the dates, the Dunning letter doesn't seem to be too effective, Mike.
Darn, I'm just not paying my own, payments here. Yeah, so again, some of these numbers are pretty extreme. I think there's like $500,000 worth of interest, but maybe I could have made that more realistic, but you know what I mean? You see that, you know, 1,000 days interest, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So you have that there, you have the fee, and you see it's going to automatically post it. So, you know, you can expand all here, check them out. You can uncheck specific documents. You see there's going to be a few created here. So that's it. You can uncheck particular documents that you don't want, and later on I will show you how to exclude specific BPs and specific documents entirely. For now, we're just going to run it this way. I'm going to go next. These are the interesting ones that we're going to make. You can add remarks, assigned to a project, taxes, it just uses their default tax code, date that it's running on, etc. So here's where things get a little bit more interesting, and this doesn't look fundamentally that much different than the stock situation. So the stock situation, it's basically just save it, email it, or print it. With your print and delivery, you add a few more options. So again, we can choose email, which is default. You can email these, and with the print and delivery setup, you can very specifically set what emails are selected. So you can say use a combination of specifically tagged business partners. You can use the BP header emails. You can use any sort of custom email you want, whereas SAP, it only uses one category. You can line up the wording of that particular email to be very specific to what you want to see. And you can use your own Office 365 connection. You don't have to use SMTP like you do with the default SAP. So you can send directly through Exchange with print and delivery, which means you don't have to have Outlook anywhere on that machine. It'll just send it directly from a remote server, which is really nice if you're working remote. And it has a very high amount of deliverability because it's sending directly through Office 365. It will show as it will appear to inboxes as if the person literally sent it, who's set up to send it. And unlike SMTP with the default SAP, you'll get a higher level of deliverability. So that's part of it. I'm just going to print preview here, just so you can see, and I'll push finish. You could save this as well and do it later. So at the same time, it's going to add the service invoices. So running through here, fit column width. So it did everything here, nothing wrong with it. It added all of those particular things. Finish. And now what it's going to do is if there were 20 of them, it's going to deliver them all. But you can see one here, second late notice. It includes what documents you're being done for. You can see that you're charging $561,872.85 worth of interest and $5 of fee, which is kind of funny actually. You charge $500,000 and then you charge them for the paper that you're sending it to them on. But you see the example, it includes all these documents. And this would have delivered it to each one of the candidates that was getting done. And again, it will create the letters, the invoices here. And we'll just go back and take a look. So, oh, there it was. Let's just go today. So you see the interest dunning and the interest fees there. So that was added as an actual invoice there that can be paid. Again, that's a lot of interest for these specific documents. So the last thing I wanted to show is the business partners can be exempt. So you can go payment terms, where is it? Accounting. Not sure why it's not under payment terms, but accounting, block dunning letters. And this will just say, hey, we're already in communication with Battleship Cobra, and we are not going to send more letters. We're already going to work this out. Stuff's moving. We don't need to have any more letters sent, so you can just block it there. The other thing you can do is maybe a particular invoice is being disputed, and you don't want that one to be involved. I think this is in logistics. You can block the dunning letters on a specific invoice as well. So you can say block dunning letters, and it won't include it in the dunning wizard at all. And finally, the dunning wizard here, you can right click and you can go to dunning history report from the BP. This will give you a nice summary of all of the particular things that you're going to have there. Or you can click this dunning history and see it here. With all of the letters that you have sent. So with that said, any questions or comments so far?
Thanks, Mike. Anybody have any questions? You will send me the guide, Mike, in case somebody asks for it, because I have a lot of people that wanted the recording today that couldn't make it. So
yep.
If you could send me the guide, I'll have it. I'll send it to them with the link.
All right, I will do that right now.
So no questions. Everything seems good. Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, awesome.
Have a great weekend.
You.
All right.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.